I'm trying to avoid talking about it, but the Detroit Lions
We're
did
going to
lose
talk
the
about it
game.
for about 2 hours.
I'm probably going to crash out at some point during today's show, just a fair warning.
No.
And it's not even going to be because of the game.
Yep.
It's going to be because of somebody in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be because of some of the shit excuses I've already seen on the timeline when I'm scrolling through my Twitter sphere.
Easy. I was told he was pressured on 80% of his dropbacks.
Okay, man.
That's somebody told me that.
It's not true. It's not true.
Okay.
That's where I'll crash out. The excuses. Last night, the Detroit Lions lost to the Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's important to remember.
Good team.
Good team.
Very good team.
Very good team. And I feel like for some reason, people forget that. Was the offensive line perfect?
It's not like losing to the Browns.
No. Not like you're losing to the Panthers.
Didn't lose to the Panthers or the Browns.
You know what I'm saying? Not like you're fucking struggling to close it out against the Giants.
Yeah.
You know?
You were
Like some
playing the
other team.
defending Super Bowl champions in their house. Now, if we would have lost to the Browns or the Panthers, that would be really embarrassing.
That would suck.
And that would be something that only shit bum teams would have happen to them.
Loser teams.
Loser teams. But this was the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And you were in their town, and, man, you did not execute well enough. The win was there. Your defense gave you the game. The defense went out there, and they played the best game I've seen them play since Baltimore. It was impressive. They were locking everybody down. Shout out to Amik Robertson. Shout out to the defensive line, stopping the run, bottling Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts for a vast majority of that game. Jack Campbell is one of, if not the best middle linebackers in the National Football League. Alex Anzalone was playing out of his mind. The defense did everything that they needed to do to win you that ball game, and the offense completely shit the bed. Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, the offensive line, wide receivers, whoever you want to say on the offense, as long as it's not Jahmyr Gibbs or Jamison Williams, I'll hear you out because it was awful. One of the worst performances I've seen this offense ever under Dan Campbell. 0 for 5 on fourth down, 0 for whatever on third down. It was embarrassing. The plays were there to be made. Nobody executed, mainly Jared Goff. But that offensive line didn't do him any favors. Receivers didn't do him any favors. But I look at Jared Goff as a guy that I expect more than that. You should expect more than that. He damn sure expects more than that. And he's going to go out there and he's going to dot up the Giants and we're going to win by 20 points and everybody's going to feel happy about
You're
it.
going to say, look, see?
Yeah.
Everything's fine. I told you he's good.
Yep.
I told you. That's going to be the most annoying part. But again, like I said, I think the important piece that people need to remember and yesterday's game is we were playing the defending Super Bowl champions. You know why they won the Super Bowl? That defensive line. Your offensive line was never going to have a good day yesterday against Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, and they just added a kid named Jalen Phillips.
Yep.
Who's equivalent, if not better, in my opinion, than Josh Sweat that was there last year. I think he's a better run defender, and obviously what he can do in the pass rush too. He was getting the better of a guy we know very well as Penei Sewell, first-team All-Pro. Now, I will say Penei dealing with a little bit of ankle injury, but your offensive line, it's fucking football. Nothing's going to go perfect. If you think on every single rep, every single play, the offensive line is going to form a fucking brick wall, and no one's going to apply any type of pressure at all, especially going against teams like that, you're out of your fucking mind. Mm-hmm. You need to execute. Your quarterback needs to be better. I understand the fourth downs kind of suck, but there were opportunities
Open.
There were 2 fourth downs, over 5 in the night. We all know it. 2 of them I wasn't a fan of. The one where you had Grant Stewart,
Fake post.
of all people, going for it. That's just not. If I'm trying to get a first down
Yeah.
against the Philadelphia Eagles front, I'm not picking Grant Stewart to do it. Fuck the element of surprise. Get my offense out there. All right. The second one was the short field situation. Like, 4 yards from the fucking end zone. Mm-hmm. Could take the points. All right, yesterday points were at a premium. And I know I tapped in for BD for a little bit as Neil was crashing out. He was just finished to crash out about the field goals. You were 100% correct in, like, a lot of those situations, it was windy and, like, 50 yards out. You're not guaranteed a field goal in that situation. But the Philadelphia Eagles were hitting them.
Yeah.
We scored the same amount of touchdowns last night. Mm-hmm. They just had a couple extra field goals. They take the fucking points. Points were in a premium last night. You got to take them when you can get them. But ultimately, for me, yeah, I'm looking at JG, man. 1 of 13 when pressured, and the cold narrative lives on.
Yeah.
That is a real thing. 39 degrees and below, JG's just not the same guy. The numbers, 56% passing. He's got 15 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. That's a 1.5 to 1 ratio. That's shit rookies do. And again, it's cold. It's not every time. He's still a good quarterback. But just quit fucking telling me this shit's not happening. It's becoming a point for me where I'm like, we have this game against the Eagles. We have the game against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. We had a game against the Packers. Mm-hmm. This year's team, man, it's starting to... It's not passing the smell test when it comes to wanting to win a fucking Super Bowl. I'm going to be straight up with you.
No, these are the teams you're going to have to beat. These are the defenses that you're going to have to beat. These are the environments that you'll have to travel to, especially if you don't win the NFC North, which you're currently at third place in right now. So, yeah, would I felt a lot better if they went out there and beat the Eagles? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does this mean they're over? No, because it still was a one-score game on the road against an opponent that is the defending Super Bowl champion and the favorite to win the thing again. But your offense looked completely anemic going up against a real defense. And like you said, it's not like the opportunities weren't there. We saw consistently balls dying at the feet of wide receivers and coming up very short. And these were plays that Jared Goff makes. Throughout this year, he has. Like you talked about, he was pressured more in the Washington Commanders game than he was in the Philadelphia Eagles game. He was pressured more in the Cleveland Browns game than he was in the Philadelphia Eagles game. He did not make the throws that he needed to. He did not step up in the pocket and deliver balls with conviction across the middle that he does all the time, that we see him do a lot in this offense, and a big factor of it was the weather. You can't say it wasn't. Because if this was the friendly confines of Ford Field, if it's 65 degrees and there's not any wind because you're in a dome, he steps up and he delivers that ball across the middle to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He steps up and he delivers that ball across the middle to Jameson Williams, hits him in the chest. Now, those are your two best wide receivers, and they still do need to make those catches. J-Mo, that one was low, still got to catch it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I know you were going full speed across the middle, and you had to stop back and adjust to a ball 3 yards behind you, but it hits you in the hands, you got to make that catch. But I also expect Jared Goff to make those throws because he is a $50+ million quarterback, and he needs to step up and put the ball on time, on target. Unfortunately, he didn't do that in a couple situations yesterday, and it was big. It was. I'm broke! But you need the Rams, we're going to see now. The Rams are your next giant test. You got Green Bay again on the schedule. You got Minnesota again on the schedule. So we're going to see what happens because those are three very good defenses. Those are three defenses that get after the quarterback. Those are three defenses that put a lot of pressure on opposing passers. So we're going to need to see what this offensive line and what Jared Goff looks like when those guys are coming right in his face. Pause.
Pause. What are you doing?
Sorry.
I already started the show crazy. And if you're falling victim to the pressure situation,
creams in your mouth.
Here's a fun stat for you. Last week against the Washington Commanders, Jared Goff faced more pressure than he did last night.
Yep.
He finished that game 3 touchdowns for 330. You gotta execute when they're there. The plays are there, by the way, too. If you got X, you got Twitter after the show, maybe open up another tab. Go head over to my Twitter right now. I put out the throws where he just straight up missed.
Wide open.
And I get like some of these situations too. You look at them called drop. I didn't put the J-Mo in there. I thought that was a drop.
Yeah.
The Amon-Ra ones I put in there because that wasn't an advantageous situation for him to catch the football at all. Yeah. And I've heard Jared Goff say that he throws low because he'd rather have an incompletion than an interception, and I get that. But again, I don't know, man. Some of that shit was just gross game. Nick, I know you're itching to get out of it.
I don't think any single game the rest of the season, can really change my outlook besides probably the Rams game, having a top 10 defense. I guess Thanksgiving too, but that's what it all comes down to me. Nobody is going to, come out here and say we're going to lose to the Giants. I don't think anybody thinks that. I think they can win 3 straight games against the Giants, Packers, and the Cowboys all at home, but that's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
It's truly not. I think it is the fact to me with this team, the way they were built going into this season, they are at a deficit because we all know Jared Goff struggles when getting pressured and specifically pressured up the middle. Last night, maybe it wasn't the same amount of pressure as that Commanders game, but I certainly know that Jared Goff didn't look confident. He was getting pressured up the middle, and he was pressured early, and that dude got thrown off his spot, and he had absolutely no mojo. He got rushed into everything, and he was seeing ghosts. And if he wasn't as pressured as many times as that Commanders game, that's a great stat, by the way.
Or the Browns game.
or the Browns. But
Yeah.
That's pressure on that's Myles Garrett on the outside. It's like if it is up the middle, which
Fair.
this team's weakness is, and that team's strength is, along with a lot of these other top teams in the NFC. That's why I'm sitting here today saying this team's not ready to go out and win a Super Bowl because they don't have the same offense as they have had the last few seasons. But real quick, one of the biggest numbers that I can point to, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, timing. Those two are always on the same page.
Yeah.
Yesterday they weren't. 12 targets, 2 receptions.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. It literally shows everything. And I'm not even getting started in the run game where we're just running the ball right at Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. It reminded me of Michigan, Ohio State when they were just running it. Mason Graham right into Kenneth Grant. When you got so many beats on the outside doing work, the Gibbs outside stuff was working. Why are we continuing to try to run the ball directly into their best players? I thought it was a little bit stubbornness at times, and it came out. I'm pissed off today, as everybody in Detroit should be, because you got smacked, and your offense is nowhere near where it needs to be moving forward.
Yeah. Like I said, we're not going to miss the playoffs, but it's starting to walk a good duck and talk a good duck, and that's pretender over contender. I hate to fucking say it, man. I hate to say it. And like Nick said, there's not that many tests left, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's where I'm feeling with this team. This team is a team that now, when I say that I don't feel comfortable calling them a Super Bowl contender, doesn't mean that they still can't fix this ship. But I've been over this with the offensive line, the inconsistencies and all of this. And these are the things we've talked about for years with Jared Goff. So that's why, like, I know everybody is on Jared Goff about stepping up and executing, and that's fine. And nothing that you say for that is out of bounds. But we have always said for years, the situation around him can be perfect, and then we can have success. And so I'm looking at the situation around him, and that is not to absolve him from any blame of this poor performance, but that is what I believed in. That is what I put faith in. The perfect system around, the offensive line, the great run game, the excellent bounty of options at receiver, like all of those things. The defense now coming along and being a very good defense, an amazing defense last night. All of those things. That is what is around Jared Goff, and now we're not having the same success with the offensive line, with the receivers, with everything. So to me, it's looking at the situation more than Goff, and that is not to absolve him by any means.